Dwight, welcome to the show, man. Welcome to the show. How you
Sir.
doing?
I'm doing well. I mean, obviously, as you can imagine, I'm feeling pretty good right now. But I don't know how long I'm gonna have it on, Matt. I hear you. I mean, you would know better than me, that's for sure. But I tell you what, it's a good feeling to have, and it's a good dilemma to be in to figure out how long I'm gonna keep it on.
Coach, tell me why this team could go to the NCAA and win a game. What makes this team special? Especially with tonight getting the win and playing so well.
Yeah, we have a great group, and we have a great group of people. Our guys have been through a lot. We've dealt with a lot of adversity. A big part of it is we're not really relying on just one player. We have a group of guys that are willing to step up when it's their night, and whether it's scoring, rebounding, playmaking, screening, defending. I just think we do it by committee. And so it's really hard to key in just on one particular guy or to even kind of take away one particular aspect of the game, whether it's threes, whether it's twos, and layups. I just think we're really versatile. And, one thing that I think is really undervalued, and it's hard when you just only watch film and you don't pick it up unless you're playing us, is I think we're a real physical team and we compete on the defensive end of the floor. We play really hard. Our guys, I think, are relatively tough. And I just think, those type of components of playing hard and being tough and being gritty and being, pretty versatile on offense, that's a recipe for success no matter where you're playing, no matter what environment, and no matter what team.
Coach, you spent some time at VCU. You spent some time at Furman. You spent time as an assistant at Wofford, and then you got your opportunity to become a head coach there. What did you learn along the way during those times? And when you got your opportunity here to be a head coach, this moment, how did it prepare you to get your team to the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, during one of those stops, I was taking some losses from a Matt McCall Chattanooga team, so that's number one. But along the way, I think it's going to sound really cheesy and really repetitive. But anyone that's been around sports, we all know in a team setting, you got to have a great group of guys that are willing to play unselfish and are willing to work towards a common goal that's far greater than anything that they're individually going to accomplish. And you mentioned all those places, VCU, my time at Furman as an assistant, my time at Wofford as an assistant. I think that's the common denominator is you end up being around a bunch of great people that are willing to work hard. And if you all pour in towards one common goal, you have a chance. It's not guaranteed, right? You're not the only team that's trying to bottle up that formula. There's a lot of really good teams out there that are really talented. And so we all know winning is hard. Anyone that's won the championship knows it's hard, and a lot goes into it. And it's never perfect. There's peaks and valleys. But if you stay the course, you give yourself a chance. And that's what our team did this year. It wasn't perfect. We lost games. We all felt like we probably should have won, but we didn't. But we stayed the course, and our guys have continued to battle. Even all the way through the last regular season game, we lost on a buzzer beater, a heartbreaker to the Furman team that we just beat. And I've been around a lot of teams that probably would have hung their head with what our team has gone through and, losing in that fashion. But we played on Saturday. We took off Sunday. And I knew we had a chance on Monday when our team had more pop and more energy and more positivity than we probably had all year. And I knew, again, it wasn't guaranteed. But on Monday, I knew we had a group that, we had a chance to do this thing because our guys were locked in and they were focused on the goal that we set out when the season started.
Coach, the Furman loss you mentioned, I always say when we played, like losing a little earlier, having a bad loss kind of made us sit up in our seat a little bit and start to listen a little bit. So did that happen with your team when they took the loss of Furman? And game plan wise, was there something that you did different today that maybe you propelled you guys to get this victory?
Yeah, I think, so the first time we played them, we obviously beat them pretty convincingly. We won, I think we won by 19, but we were up 20, the majority of the game. And then we came into game two. We played them the fourth game of the season in our conference. But then we played them the last game of the regular season. So obviously there was a lot of time in between those two games. But they jumped out on us early in the second game at our place. They were up 12-0, and I think they got up as much as 19 in the beginning of the first half. And then around the 8-minute mark, we kind of settled in. We took that punch, and, we slowly and gradually got back into the game, and we ended up taking the lead around 3 minutes left. But to your point, John, as a coach and as competitors, you don't want to admit it, but the reality is if we won by 20 the first time and then you come back and you win the game the second time, the reality is I do think sometimes, right, you kind of get that false sense of reality of like, oh, we're just going to beat this team and, it was meant to be. And so while it did obviously sting and burn losing any game, but especially losing that game in the way in which we lost, I absolutely think, I don't know if it kind of gave us a wake-up call, but as we all know, going into any tournament setting, there needs to be a balance of confidence, but also that edge and kind of that sense of urgency. And we all know it's kind of really hard to toe that line, and it can be very fluid. But I definitely think that loss definitely helped us with the urgency and kind of chip on our shoulder that we had. And then, again, a credit to our guys for being able to stay confident going into the week. Because, again, I think, as we all know, that confidence with 18 to 23-year-olds today can be very fluid and very fickle. But, our guys definitely towed that line really well, starting with ETSU all the way through tonight.
Coach, first of all, celebrate. Enjoy this. I know there'll be a party for you when you get back to campus. But what does this week look like for your team before Selection Sunday? Like, what will you guys do? I'm sure you'll take a couple days off, but how will you prepare going into Selection Sunday?
Yeah, I think, as you would know, the pros and cons of playing the SoCon tournament probably a week early. You obviously, if you're fortunate enough to win, you do get that time to break up about a week in between. And obviously different coaches, I'm sure, do it differently. For us, our academic calendar is a little different. We actually, most schools, I think this time of year are on spring break. Our guys still have school. And so, we'll probably take a couple days off, like you said. We'll kind of ease back in. We only had eight healthy guys going into this tournament. So, a lot of guys logged a lot of minutes. So we'll probably gradually build back up with some, lighter practices. Probably won't be too crazy and too hectic. Obviously, we'll have Sunday to where we'll figure out where we're going, who we're playing, and then we'll kind of go from there. But we'll definitely take the next couple of days to kind of rest and recharge so that we can get our guys back, not only physically, but mentally and emotionally. Because as we all know, 3 days and three games in 3 days, it's not just the physical toll that it takes on you. It's the emotional and mental, but, there is a reality. You definitely want to stay sharp.
Hey, Henson, I got a quick question for you. Do you know what your career shooting percentage in the league was? Do you know off the top of your head? Free throw shooting.
Free throws, 55, 60, baby.
I thought you were going to ask Henson. I thought you were going to ask Henson if he was going to go to class after winning a championship. Henson's saying no way he's going to class after winning a championship. No way. No way.
Psychologist. So I would have had a free throw psychologist.
Here's my question, Dwight. Dwight, if you had gotten a hold of Henson and taught him the granny style free throws like your boy Kyler Filowich does, do you think you could have gotten him above 57% career free throws?
I don't know. The thing with John was playing with a group of guys that probably consistently led the country in offensive rebounding percentage. So at the end of the day, whether he's making it or missing it, all they're doing is just playing volleyball and going back up to get it. So, it's not the worst thing in the world for the free throw to come off.
Yeah, no, it was my whole career, it was a tread lightly situation with all coaches. I was just trying to, I just try to make them. And I told when I played more and I got more in rhythm of the game, especially in the NBA, I made my free throws. So I coach played me more consistently and I knock them down.
That's a real thing. I believe it.
Good job, man. I like that. Listen, Dwight, congratulations on the win, man. We'll let you go.
Enjoy,
celebrate.
Enjoy. Congrats.
We're looking forward,
you, man.
We are all Terriers here, man. We are all Terriers here. So go celebrate. Dwight Perry, Wofford head coach, celebrating his first trip as a head coach to the NCAA tournament. Listen,